Let's get over to Tesla. This is really interesting stuff happening with the stock. Now, you might even ask, why does it matter with the stock? Well, if Elon's going to be a major player in our government, actually, maybe we can edit this in later. This is maybe an ask to our producers. The Commerce Secretary late last night literally went on television to encourage people to buy Tesla stock. I mean, I can only assume that it's not even just about personal interest there, but like they see that as an existential threat to Elon, to Doge, and their ability to be able to carry their things out. So the fate of this company does obviously matter, not only in terms of that.
Not only that, I mean, Trump was hawking Teslas in the White House lawn. So this is like a whole of government effort to prop up
a private
the stock of, the richest man on the entire planet. So there you go.
All right, makes a lot of sense. Sticking with that, not only prior to Doge Elon, we often saw Tesla, the most successful American car startup and of all time, especially in modern history. So what does that matter? Well, we had bet that electric vehicles are going to be part of some of our future, maybe not be everything, but, want to have some leadership in the area. And at the very same time that we're seeing troubles in our electric vehicle market and in our companies, BYD is leaping bounds of what is possible. So let's start off here. This is a major investor in Tesla who took to the airwaves and basically publicly said, I think there needs to be a new CEO because he's just not spending a lot of time on this company. This is Ross Gerber. Let's take a listen.
I think we all make choices with our time, and Elon doesn't get more than 24 hours a day just because he's Elon. So we make choices. All of us do. Do we spend time with our family? Do we go golfing? Do we work? And how we do this is, each individual chooses. And so Elon chooses to work, all the time, but you can only work so many hours a day. So it's 24, right? And he sleeps. So there's no question he's been committed to his job at the government. That's where he's spending his time. He is not running Tesla. And, that's why I'm going to say it. I think Tesla needs a new CEO. And I decided today I was going to start saying it. And so this is the first show that I'm saying it on. It's time for somebody to run Tesla. The business has been neglected for too long. There's too many important things Tesla is doing. So either Elon should come back to Tesla and be the CEO of Tesla and give up his other jobs, or he should focus on the government and keep doing what he's doing, but find a suitable CEO for Tesla.
So you are saying essentially if he's not prepared to quit that government job, he needs to go?
Yeah, I think it's time.
So the reason why that matters is he's a major investor in Tesla, and there are a lot of Tesla investors who are upset. I'm looking at the stock right now. It's flat basically on the last 6 months. Let's go and put that tear sheet, please, up on the screen here, because it fits with the broader pattern of people inside of the company are deciding that they're going to sell off. So put the next tear sheet up, B2. Tesla board members and executive are selling off over $100 million of stock in recent weeks.
It's never a good sign.
Not a good sign, yeah, usually. Together, the 4 top officers of the company have offloaded 100 million in shares just since early February. It's likely that this is a result of the fact that it bumped so high immediately after the election. But the truth is that if it's flat on the last 6 months, it's erased all of its pre-election gains. And broadly, the company does have issues. I mean, if you look not only at the demand, but you've got the brand stuff, which is currently happening. Put B3, please, on the screen so people can see this. If you look at the decline overall, the year-to-date decline specifically, that's from January, so that was really where elections are at. And we're talking about a 37% decline in the overall stock value of the company, and there are issues both with their current sales, their branding right now. You also have to think, who are the people who are buying Teslas? They're mostly rich people, and rich people are usually liberals in this country, especially the type of people who are going to be attracted to an EV. So I've been seeing people we need to make buying the Cybertruck a major part, and I'm like, well, it's like an $85,000 vehicle.
Yeah.
Not to say that there aren't a lot of poor people out there driving $85,000 Ford F-150s or whatever. They shouldn't be doing that either. But my point is just, if you look at the general demographic of who their customer is, on top of the political brand hit that they're taking, and if you also see, if Tesla's a global company, Elon, he might be popular or whatever with Republicans here. That's 50% of our country. But we have to think about Germany. We have to think about the global marketplace. And the biggest problem they face there is while his brand is becoming polarizing, BYD cars are only getting better. And in those countries, you can buy a BYD car. You can buy a Xiaomi car. You can't buy one here. So in a way, he's actually protected a little bit in the United States. But their stock value depends very much on sales globally in China, in Germany, in the European Union. In fact, I mean, the use case for an EV in every other country but the United States is much better just because it's small. You don't have to drive that much. So and they have better infrastructure than us too. So yeah, you really have to think just about what that future value is. And I mean, it makes sense if you're Ross Gerber. Like, look purely from a financial perspective, you're like, listen, I mean, you're literally, I mean, he gave an interview to Ted Cruz and he's like, I sleep 6 hours a night and I work every single other hour. And he's like, and this is all I'm working on. It's on Doge. It's like, okay, but you're literally the CEO of these companies. So how much attention can you realistically give this here? I mean, people have always said that about Elon, but it's a little bit different when you're focused on government as opposed to running 2 or 3 other kind of interconnected businesses at the same time.
And that's one of the knocks on Tesla is that the inventory right now is stale, that Elon's attention is elsewhere. And so, you know, it's not his baby anymore the way that it used to be. It's not his like glorious obsession of the moment. And this is a man who's known for glorious obsessions. And so that's part of it. I mean, but the biggest part is just how toxic he's become and how polarizing he's become. And not just in the US, but, you know, we tracked before the sales in Europe have fallen off a cliff. In Germany, I saw a stat, they did a poll, it was like 94% of Germans said that they would not even consider buying a Tesla. And as Saagar said, there are other options. And it's not like in Europe in particular, people are buying fewer EVs overall. Quite the contrary. The percent of new vehicles that are being purchased that are EVs continues to be on the rise. And yet Tesla sales like in Germany are down 60%. I mean, it just, at some point, it becomes a real problem. Also, just to flag something to keep an eye on, something I'm going to keep an eye on. The Financial Times has an article today calling into question some of the accounting with Tesla flagging a sort of $1.4 billion that is questionable of what's going on and where it went, et cetera. So there may be a lot more going on there. But the bottom line is Elon is a toxic figure. The car has become itself very polarizing, and most people are not looking to make a political statement with the vehicle that they're driving. They just want to like have a car that's good and drive it and not get dirty looks from whoever while they're driving it. And you know, then they've got this increased competition issue as well. I do think it's like, to me, it's very funny. Republicans, the new party, the working class, organizing themselves around supporting the stock value of the company of the richest man on the planet is an entertaining subplot to all of this.
Sure. I mean, look, we can all we can do hypocrisy all we want. Like
I'm not
Mark
doing
Kelly,
hypocrisy. I just think it's funny.
like the senator trading in his Tesla for a Chevy gas-powered vehicle, which is not even a hybrid. What's up with that? You know, it's like, look, I'm not saying it isn't all like somewhat amusing, but I mean, I care. I like electric vehicles, and I think they're cool. So, you know, I actually drove past a sick EV9 today. I gotta give it to Kia. They are nailing their electric cars. I think they're really cool. But this sticks with what we were talking about earlier with BYD. Look, I mean, again, any just casual observer who has no, like, politics aside, you just have to admit, BYD's sick. Let's put this up there on the screen. Look at what they just announced. They got a 5-minute charge time. They are saying that, according to them, the platform now has a charging power of 1,000 kilowatts, takes up to 1,000 amps, which means it can charge batteries at a rate of 2 kilometers per second. It can give you 400 kilometers in range in 5 minutes. The equivalent charge time on a Tesla would be about 200 miles in a range of 15 minutes. That's if all the stars align, like your battery's low, you're at a 250 kilowatt charger, there's nobody parked next to you, which means that your wattage or whatever is going down. I mean, a lot of this is just about the engineering marvel of what BYD has been able to accomplish, and also in terms of the regulations and design that they're allowed to build over there in China. I'm genuinely convinced if we were able to do, or even regulatory allowed, the types of cars that they build over there, they would be huge sellers. Like in China, the concept of a vehicle with a 500-mile gas tank and a 300-mile battery, it's everywhere. And actually, they're interconnected. I mean, think about it. That's 800 miles of range. Who would not buy that? You know, it's one of those where it's a daily driver. As far as I know, our plug-in hybrids don't even go up to like 40 or 50 miles. I think 40 is as good as it gets here. That's just not enough. Yeah. You know, if you think about that. So their market, not only heavily subsidized, by the Chinese government. They built their infrastructure and all that over time, but they've laid such a framework that their Elon, the founder of BYD, who himself, again, is a genuine engineering genius, for him to be able to create this product that is just going exponential now with everything that is available to him. And if you think about the global marketplace, again, people in Germany or wherever, they don't care if it comes from China. We care here for the integrity of our US auto market, but in a lot of other countries, they don't think that way. Or they just want to buy whatever is the nicest car, or they have friendlier relations with China. And so that is a direct threat to Tesla's ability in the future, because their whole growth project was not just America, it was the whole world.
That's absolutely the case. And I mean, the only thing that is saving our EV market right now is protectionism.
Yes,
like,
that's right.
Otherwise, forget it, it'd be over, because this development is so significant. I mean, one of the primary things that keeps people from buying an EV is, look, we're Americans, we love the long road trip. And it's a pain in the ass to have to, like, you know, first of all, you're nervous about, am I gonna find a charger? Is it gonna be broken? Like, you know, did I have the heat on too much and now my range is too low? Whatever, what do they call it? Range anxiety. That's one of the big issues. And then, okay, you get to the charger and then you gotta sit there for 20 minutes at best, if you have a Tesla and it's a supercharger and whatever, to get a significant, you know, range charge. And that's a pain in the butt. Like, you want to get where you're going, you got your kids, they're being annoying, et cetera, et cetera. So if you can charge up 300 miles in 5 minutes, I mean, now we're getting to where it's comparable to how long it takes to fill the tank of gas. Not to mention, this actually ties some into the abundance conversation we're going to have later too. You know, our charging network is not nearly sufficient. And then the thing that really jumped down at me in this article too is that they say that the key challenger to BYD, it's not Tesla or any other, you know, American or European car company or whatever. It's another Chinese battery company, so CATL. Last year, they unveiled a new battery with a charge time equating to 1 kilometer of range per second, or 600 kilometers in 10 minutes. So, and this is part of what we're seeing with the AI development as well, that obviously we have strong competitors in the AI field, but China has strong competitors just internally, domestically. So they have, in a very short period of time, leapfrogged to where now, technologically, with these like frontier technologies, they are not just competing with us in many instances, actually. They have surpassed us and they're kicking our butt. Like, their model in terms of innovation is working better than our model, which is sort of sclerotic and financialized and, you know, monopoly driven and et cetera. So this is, you know, one instance of that is really incredibly striking. And yeah, they're gonna, like, if we are unable to figure this technology out and catch up to them, every American EV maker is going to be toast globally. They will only be able to compete within the, you know, protectionist regime of the United States of America, and that will be about it. And BYD is concerned about our automakers stealing their technology. Let's put this up on the screen. This wasn't the only concern, but this was part of it. They're delaying approval, Beijing is, for BYD to build a plant in Mexico because they're worried that tech is going to leak across the border to the US in some sort of, like, you know, corporate espionage situation. Now, they have other concerns, especially with regard to, you know, there's the trade war going on, and so they're, you know, nervous about some of that and how that will impact it as well. But that was apparently a primary consideration, which is quite funny. How the shoe is now on the other foot, Saagar.
Yeah, it is, except they're smart enough to actually think about that beforehand and not figure it out 20 years later. It's amazing, actually, what when you have smart people who run your country. You can do amazing things. Personally, I'm a Yang Wang guy. That's the BYD luxury SUV. The thing is incredible. It can float on water, literally, according to them.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of those. You should look into it. It's. I've seen some videos of people driving around, and they're awesome. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.